This presentation on what's my problem, what the future of auditing may look like from a customer perspective, comes to us from Wendy Edwards. Wendy is the head of quality for Pro-Life Foods, New Zealand's largest privately owned fast-moving consumer goods company. She has more than 30 years of experience as an auditor, consultant, and in-house quality professional, specializing in high and low-risk food industries. In 2014, her project to transform her company's global operations food safety and quality system was awarded Fonterra's Global Trust in Source Award. In 2018, Wendy was selected by GFSI to join a small global working group, the only subject matter expert from the Southern Hemisphere. And with that, take it away, Wendy.
Thanks, Mike. For our session today, I thought I'd like to stimulate some thinking about the future of auditing from a customer's perspective. And that got me thinking, actually, what would get me excited about the future of auditing? So, like all of us working in quality and any good problem solver, the key was for me to understand actually what's my problem. But first, I have a wee confession to make. This is me. You can tell it's me a long time ago because I'm so skinny. So back long ago when I was a full-time auditor, I spent a lot of time traveling away from home. And that meant that contact with my family was pretty limited. And that was back in the early days, long before cell phones became particularly common. So my family came up with what they felt was a fantastic, novel, exciting solution, and that they kindly gifted me a cell phone for my birthday. So there was a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm, because this was not just any cell phone. This was special because it could send messages. Fantastic. Woohoo. Looking enthusiastic. Got my party face on, except the auditor in me's going, I don't actually know anybody else with a cell phone that can accept messages. Everybody I know has a landline. So while this is exciting technology, and I can see that one day it might come in useful for me right here, right now, it's of little value. And I was horrified because, I like to think that I'm out there, party face, out the front, but in fact, I was looking a lot like a technological laggard. Drats. So, much later in life, no, this isn't out of Doctor Who. This is, in fact, a robot vacuum cleaner. So, with my laggard title on, along came the robot vacuum cleaner, and you guessed it, suddenly I was excited. So here's some technology that I could see an immediate use for. It was going to solve some problems for me, give me the gift of time. And so I was quickly parted with my money. We are best of friends. We have a nickname. I love this machine. We talk a lot. We hang out and we play most days. So here was some new technology that I was prepared to adapt willingly, quickly. And so in this case, rather than being a laggard, I'm in fact an early adopter. And so I'm thinking, why? What's the change? Have I got some sort of weird split personality? And I think the answer is no. I think if I take you through this, you may or may not have seen it before. This is Everett Rogers' innovation adoption model. And it's a way for marketers to understand, when we're taking something new to market, where is their target audience? Where are they looking? If we have a look, we can see that when I was texting with my cell phone, very much my mindset was in that late majority or laggard. I couldn't see the value of that new technology, and it wasn't something that got me excited. And yet, the robot vacuum cleaner, I'm in. I can see immediate value. And there I was on the left-hand side of this curve as an early adapter. So what's explaining the variation there, I think, for me, comes down to actually, what is it that it's solving? What's the problem? What is my problem? And so I realized that actually being a human being, I'm just like all other human beings. I'm going to resist making a change that will slow me down while I'm learning new technology. I don't want to have to take time in my busy day and my resource-strapped environment to learn something that isn't going to add value to me until much into the future. I'm just less appealing. It's less appealing to me. However, if you give me technology that is going to give me the gift of time and reduce my effort, I'm more than happy to go through that learning curve. So there you go. For me, when I started to think about this, the issue is I had to understand my problem, and this is why the future of auditing for me, I think it depends on what the problem is. So what is my problem? I'm a low risk, it's food, but it's low risk food. I'm a low risk auditor, or auditee, sorry. But this is pretty much what my problem looks like. This is my reality. So when I started in this role, it was not uncommon for us to have very, very long audit days, up to 14 hours. Our audits would inevitably be, a week. We had 16 external audits in my first year in this role, and this is what a typical audit looks like for me. So a little bit confusing. Let's just break that down. First up, many hours, many days. So for 5 days, I'm in an audit, and those are very, very long days. That's a problem for me. This is my auditor. I love my auditors. I have some wonderful people come and share time with us. And what I've observed is they're sitting at their desk opposite me, and they are taking data and entering it into some sort of cloud-based system. They're under enormous time pressure. That they know that they have a limited time, that they need to fit everything in. And during their time with us, they have to meet the expectations, not just of me, but also the standard owner, the audit body, the accreditation body, and of course the likes of Exemplar Global, the auditor certification body. And here's me, the auditee, and I'm taking data and extracting it from my company cloud. I also have enormous time pressure. I'm trying to meet the requirements or expectations of my auditor and the standard that I want to meet. And meantime, in the back of my head, I have this backlog of daily duties that aren't getting done because I'm sitting here exchanging data. And what's really fascinating when you look up close is that we're sitting there with our computers and it's the same data, it's the same standard, and we're exchanging it on paper or email. It's an incredibly inefficient way for us to go about auditing. So this craziness, this is actually my current reality. So I'm not sure what you see when you look at that picture, but for me, I see an opportunity to solve a problem. So the question then becomes how? So artificial intelligence, that's definitely something that's out there and now. I start to think about the electronic documents that I have in my system. I think about the standard that I'm meeting, which exists out there in an electronic format. And I'm thinking some sort of algorithm that we could teach to look at our documents and make judgment calls around compliance. Virtual reality, another thing that's already out there. I've heard conversations about sending avatars to places to have conversations with people. I can see that working here. Perhaps instead of trying to find one expert auditor who can come and look at my system, who has great knowledge in places and marginal knowledge in other places, I can have a pool of experts that between them could come. Perhaps we could work around time travel, not as in time travel, sorry, but as in traveling time, so that they are here and immediately and we can take away those aeroplane flights and so on. Cloud-based systems. So cloud-based data is something we already do a lot of in the food industry. So for example, we have food businesses where we make food to specifications. We enter specifications into their cloud-based systems. They can measure compliance. They can give us feedback if anything's missing. The likes of SEDEX, which is an ethical sourcing database, does the same and can share that information with other customers that want to see what's going on. And chatbots. Chatbots are a great way to put a user-friendly face in front of us. What if I have a new process that I'm considering and I could chat with my chatbot and ask it what it thinks? Perhaps the chatbot might be able to go back into the other information that's out there and tell me what good practice looks like. It could be something as simple as bringing on a new staff member who's not familiar with my audit standard, who is able to talk to the chatbot and ask it, which clause is this in? Or where is this requirement? Or can you explain to me what this means? So I just want to pause at this point and share this diagram with you. And this was literally scribbled for me on the back of, I think it was a napkin, explaining the difficulty or the challenges that an auditor faces or this industry faces. You know, we have the audit standard owner, we have an audit body, an accreditation body, we have our auditor certification, and there's huge potential here for data exchange and technology as it advances to make sure that all of these players are involved and have the information that they need. There was a lot of talk during that conversation around customer focus. But for me, there's something really important missing from this picture as we start to think about and develop the future of auditing. I don't know that it would be obvious to you, and I'm incredibly selfish, but there's an enormous omission here, and that would be me. In the very old-fashioned sense of the word customer, as the business person, as the QA quality manager, I'm the one that's writing out the check and paying the bill for this process. Audits are a huge investment for us, not just in money, but also in time. And in this case, we consider ourselves to be the key customer, as you would. So what would the future of auditing look like for me? Think about those technologies that we just spoke about on call, the ability to contact my auditor or my audit standard owner and have a chat about what I need, information when I need it at the time that I need it. Bite size. So instead of being locked in a room for a week in a 14-hour day, what if I could do my audits in little pieces that could be scheduled and would allow me to actually manage the other requirements and commitments that I have to my business? Best practice. What if I had a way to not just look at what I'm doing as complying, but to actually benchmark myself against other industries without breach of confidentiality, of course? And ultimately, my little chatbot here that can talk to me about if my risks have changed or to help train my new staff members to understand things as we go through. If I could have all of that, if that was my audit solution, I can tell you that I would just be so resilient to others coming to woo me away, others trying to tell me that their standard is better or their auditors are better. What would come out of that for me is utter loyalty to my auditor and my audit body, which is going to bring me back to the question, what is the future of auditing? So for me, that can be answered by the simple second question. To me, it's an opportunity to solve a problem. So just tell me, as you are listening to the other presentations in this webinar, listen hard, consider the exciting technology, consider the potential solutions, and I just want you to consider, are you really clear about what would excite your customer? Because to me, for the future of auditing, is around hearing the answer to this simple question. Do you know what my problem is?
Well, thank you, Wendy Edwards, for that insightful overview and presentation looking at the future of auditing from a customer perspective. That concludes this presentation.